How's it going, guys? My name is Shareholder Activism and welcome back to MoneyMetEish. Today we're going to be having a look at Brikor Limited and whether we think it is a good stock to buy as long-term cash flow seeking investors. We're going to take a brief look at the history of the company, have a look at their products, and see what their financials have been like over the past few years. Then we'll have a look at our DCF, and I will give a few of my thoughts on the company as a whole and whether I think it is a good investment or not. But before we get started, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe and ring the bell below, and share this video far and wide. Also remember that my videos are meant for edutainment purposes only and should not be used as the basis for any financial or investment decisions. And if you do require the services of a financial service provider, please contact a registered financial service provider, as I am not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, and this is not a blank cup. We at MoneyMetEish would once again like to thank Tenacity Leather Studio for their continued support of the channel. Tenacity Leather Studio is based in Bella Bella, and this father-son team creates bespoke, quality goods at affordable prices from premium quality, full-grain leather sourced from one of South Africa's oldest tanneries. Each item is meticulously designed for functionality and style, and every single one passes through their hands as it comes to life. Their online store is going live on the 25th of November, and if you join the pre-launch mailing list, link down below, you will qualify for a mystery discount of anything from 10 to 30% off your first purchase, with one lucky person getting 100% off their first purchase. Tenacity Leather Studio. We're confident when we say our goods are made to gather a lifetime of memories. In 1994, Garnet Parkins Sr. founded Marievale Brickworks along with his son Garnet van Niekerk Parkin. The initial factory had a capacity of 15 million bricks per annum. At that same time, PME was founded with 2 trucks and 3 trailers to transport farming supplies, clay and coal, and for the delivery and transportation of bricks. In 1996, after the unfortunate passing of his father, Garnet van Niekerk bought both companies and Basfor Pty Limited was born. The company grew and continued its expansion into regions on the fringes of major cities around Gauteng, including purchases of lands and factories in Reyton, Olifantsfontein, and Nigel, where the company is headquartered. In 2001, Basfor Pty Limited changed its name to Brikor Limited, which listed on the JSE Altex in 2007. The company operates in the constructions and materials sectors, and this sector seems to really be liked by a lot of EasyEquities groups on Facebook, and I really don't know why. If you have any idea, please let me know down in the comment section, because this is the 3rd video I have made about a company operating in this sector after PPC and Avenge. I don't know what the appeal is. Brikor Limited is split into 2 segments. Bricks, where they manufacture and sell bricks, and coal, where the company mines and transports the coal and clay it needs to manufacture its bricks, as well as wholesale coal sales. In 2020, Copanella Mining Pty Limited was formed as a subsidiary of Brikor, who own 70% of the company, in order to meet the BEE compliance requirements of the mining charter and allow Brikor to both retain its current and secure future prospecting and mining rights. Brikor also acquired a 40% stake in transport company Zingaro Holdings, which basically specializes in moving dirt and rock around and sometimes keeping these rocks in safe places. The first thing that comes to mind about both of these industries is just how massive the environmental impact is and the large sums of money that are needed to rehabilitate the environment surrounding their operations. Neither of these industries is particularly exciting, and neither of them allows for exponential growth, or even very high levels of growth for that matter, without massive amounts of capital expenditure, since you need to build or buy any new truck or furnace or factory or mine shaft you might need to increase your production capacity. Much like the other companies that we've profiled in this sector, you can check out the videos on PPC and Avenge over here. Brikor operates on paper-thin profit margins. There is really very little room for any major upsets or disruptions to sales, and even an abnormal amount of rainfall can have an impact on the revenues that this company is able to generate, as was the case this past financial year, and it was reported in their most recent financial reports, which were February 2021. And that, just on a side note, I find it rather annoying how infrequently the majority of South African companies have to submit financial reports. In the US, most companies report earnings on a quarterly basis. There is a constant flow of information between the companies and the investors through the exchanges. I feel like in South Africa, a lot of the times we're just left in the dark. There is so little information that flows from the companies to the investors. It really is infuriating, but that's... Anyway, let's continue and look at Brikor from a fundamental perspective. Firstly, Brikor is a tiny company with a market cap around 530 million rand. And if you just go according to Simply Wall Street, the company's fundamentals are a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, they say that Brikor is 83% undervalued since they think that the fair value for the stock is 3.80 Rand. While on the other hand, they say that Brikor has a PE ratio, which is how much you as an investor are paying for each rand the company makes, of 46 times. Side note number 2, if I may. To me, this kind of just shows us once again that A, we can't believe everything we read online, B, this is why we need much more information on South African companies flowing to investors much easier and much more accurately, and C, this shows us why it is so vitally important to learn to do all of these calculations and read and understand financial statements for ourselves. I am barely literate when it comes to these documents, but as I keep learning and keep reading, I get better, and I get a better understanding of what I am reading and how it impacts the companies. If you look at 3 different websites, you will get 3 different PE ratios, and that's why we calculated the PE ratio ourselves instead, and Brikor has a PE ratio at the time of recording of 36 times earnings. And even at this figure, which is a lot lower than the Simply Wall Street estimate, Brikor is currently trading at a PE which is 3 times that of the South African market as a whole, which trades at around 10 times earnings, and more than double their sector peers, with the sector average trading at roughly 14 times earnings. So I don't really see where Simply Wall Street gets this 3.80 Rand number. I would love whoever came up with it to talk me through it, because it seems completely pie in the sky to me. Our own DCF, which we will go over later, estimates a very different picture of the fair value of this company. I also can't see how the site can rate a company as being so insanely undervalued on one metric and then in the same segment have the same company's price to earnings, price to book, and return on equity tell a completely opposite story when compared to its peers. Brikor's price to book ratio is 6.8 times, which is 3 times the sector average. And this is all based on a share that is currently trading under 1 Rand, with the company currently trading at 69 cents at the time of recording. If we look at the historical financials of the company, there seems to be very little stability, and the company was actually suspended from trading on the LTX from July 2013 until July 2020. 7 years! a 7-year suspension for not producing financial statements. The company had only listed 6 years prior. That means they literally have spent half of their time as a publicly traded company suspended from trading. If the declining revenue, the declining EBITDA, and then the insanely high enterprise value to EBITDA, which is currently 17 times versus an average of 4 times, weren't enough of a reason not to invest in this company, which they all are, every single one of them, we don't invest in companies that miss one of our 5 criteria, let alone 4. The fact that this company was in provisional liquidation as recently as 2015 and only just started trading a little over a year ago definitely rubber stamps the no buy stamp for us at MoneyMetEish. It's little wonder then that the majority shareholders in this company are members of the Perkin family, with joint family holdings amounting to over 45% of the total number of shares. The remainder of the stock is held by insiders who, along with the family, own 61.3%, the general public, which owns 32%, and the remaining 7% is owned by a private company, which I couldn't find any information on, and Investec owns a little bit less than 200,000 rands worth of stock and is the only institution that holds any stock in this company. There's also an element of shareholder activism, which has led to the company going to court 3 times in the last 2 reporting seasons to stop calls for the removal of several board members. Now, I have already kind of given the answer away to this video a little bit, but I did promise you our DCF, and here it is. When we ran our discounted free cash flow model on Brikor, we got a share price of 44 cents per share. With the current share price being 69 cents, Brikor is currently 33% overvalued by our estimates. Once again, not a financial advisor, not financial advice, only our opinion. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm constantly beating on these construction and materials companies, and the truth is really that they're not companies that I am very interested in investing in. I don't know if it's just the low share price that draws people to these companies, but it truly is baffling. The majority of them don't pay any dividends, and there is zero room for exponential growth, which are the 2 things we look for in individual stocks. They either need to have the potential for exponential growth, or they need to be very, very nice dividend payers. But that all being said, there are parts of this business that I do actually like. Despite the costs of rehabilitation and the fact that the mining sector is extremely volatile in terms of its political risk and the risk of protest action, I do actually like the coal segment of the company. And that can be a very lucrative line of business for the group going forward. And I think that is where they are going to be putting a lot of focus going forward into the future, which is why they formed a separate subsidiary just to focus on the licensing of their coal mines. Because let's face it, despite all the talk of the environment and environmental impact from Europe and North America, the vast majority of human beings who live on this planet rely on burning coal for electricity, and that is not going to change for quite some time. If you do decide that Brikor is worth a punt, a gamble, a roll of the dice, just bear in mind that the shares are extremely illiquid, and just because you see a certain amount on your screen doesn't mean that you will get that price when you finally find a buyer. Or you might wait a really, really long time to get the price you want. If you are a Brikor shareholder and you think I have missed anything, or I've left something out, or I've done your company dirty, I would love to hear your bull case for the company in the comment section down below. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation about Brikor. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it far and wide, share it with your mom, share it with your friends, share it with your pet fish, share it with everybody. And remember to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. While you're down there, hit the link and register for Tenacity Leather Studios' launch mailing list to claim your mystery discount. You can also follow MoneyMetEish on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere where MoneyMetEishes are. Thank you and good night.